What is happening, budget builders, and welcome back to the channel. Behind me here we have a 1960 John Deere 440 backhoe with a 253 Detroit Supercharged 2-stroke diesel. This thing has been sitting for many years. The engine is locked down. We're going to try to get it fired off. Now the reason we actually bought this is we've got a piece of property that we've been cleaning on. We have a few other projects around here that we need one for. And we've been looking around for a tractor, and a friend of mine, Bob, actually reached out and said his neighbor had this one quite a few years ago. He was using the backhoe attachment, and as you can see where we pulled it out, and he was down in the hole and it died. Not the tractor died, but the hydraulics died, and there's a lot of leaks on this thing. This tractor has been well used. You can see where this is broke and been welded on, and this has been welded on. As you can see by its own root system, this thing was in the ground for quite a few years. Anyways, thankfully our friend Bob has a quite a bit bigger backhoe. What you think, Bob? And was able to help us get this thing pulled out. It was a little bit of a trick getting this up and pulled over. That's all you can need. We were able to get this nice big pin in there, get the chains on, and get it pulled out, get it up on the trailer. And now let's find out if we can get this thing to run. Couple things you notice here. The exhaust has a flapper, so that's really good. And the intake does not, but it did have a bottle on it, a little bit newer. And if you look down, I don't think you can see, there is a little bit of water down in there. So I'm thinking that bottle was was maybe a little bit of an afterthought. The nice thing is though, see how far down this air cleaner is? It's got to come all the way up here, loop all the way back around. Hopefully we didn't get any water in the intake. I'm not sure there. I'm not sure though. So we got it over here. I got this drop back down so we can go ahead and get this engine cover off and start taking a look at what we have going on here. Easy enough. See y'all later. Now hopefully we don't have any friends in here, and hopefully I can get this off by myself. Good grief. That thing weighs 1,000 pounds. This thing's weighted too. Holy crap. Thing weighs 150 pounds. No engine lids were hurt in the process of this. That thing is solid. What do we have? So this is a 253 2-cylinder Detroit diesel, which is awesome. I did pull the dipstick before we bought it, and it looks great. So I don't think we're gonna have a problem there. Now one thing, he does have the fuel filter off. The reason he pulled it is he said last time he tried to run it, it was full of water, and you can see that thing is, sheesh. It's got a sock in it. That thing's been sitting out for a long time. That's pretty cool. This is like the old style, like you'd see on a big farm all steering setup with the straight rod. But then you have like a little, well, I guess like a John Deere too, duh. But then you've got like this setup here for power steering, which is neat. I like the little lawn tractor steering wheel. I guess if you have power steering, it's got just a slight amount of play. First thing I want to do before blowing it off or anything, let's see if we can turn this thing over and just make sure that the engine is free with the possibility of the intake sitting. As long as this thing sat, we want to make sure we're actually good to go here. And if it is stuck, we'll make it free. I am going to go ahead, let's just pull this starter off. It looks like it's been rebuilt possibly at some point in time. You can see newish looking, but it's just 2 bolts there, or 2 nuts there. Let's slide that out. Let me get a pry bar back there to kind of tug it around. And the reason I'm doing that, if we do have rust, we don't want to wring off the flywheel or something. And with the big pump on the front here, there's no way to get to anything on the front of this engine here. I guess we could pull that radiator, but I think it'll be easier to just go ahead and pop the starter out, get a pry bar on the flywheel there. That can go down there. Starter looks pretty good. That is a big boy. The gear in there, ooh, it is all stripped right there. So hopefully it's not frozen. Well, that's no good. Stuck like Chuck. It shouldn't be too bad, I guess, maybe. It looks like we're a little stuck there. We may go ahead and pull this exhaust off so I can get in it from there. Look in here, take this intake off. Let's look down in the supercharger and see if there's anything down in it, maybe that shows sign of moisture. Let's see if we can get something down in the cylinders. I don't know if there is anywhere to get to them other than maybe pull the valve cover, pull the injectors, and get down that way. First thing, let's blow all the crud off of this thing so we're not getting down in the exhaust or down in the intake. Sheesh. Supercharger inlet is crispy. Doesn't look like it's had water down in it though. Oh, we're clean there. That's a good sign. I guess you'd expect some buildup from a 2-stroke with 4,700 hours. Not rusty, so that's good. But we got to figure out where our issue is. I wonder if there's some moisture in that supercharger that's got it stuck, or the water that was in the fuel. So I've seen a lot about this. What I have here is some ATF, some acetone. We've got it kind of mixed up together here. Supposedly this is the magic stuff to getting stuck motors freed up. We're going to give it a try. So this is either actually going to go somewhere or sit in the bottom of that supercharger. I am gonna go ahead and pull the hydraulic pump off here, knowing that it had issues. I just want to make sure that that's not the problem. You know, if possibly this pump is frozen because of water or something, or just bad because it's bad. So let's go ahead and pop that off real quick. I don't know, that's pretty dang clean hydraulic fluid, which is good. I don't think water's our issue. Pump as free as can be. I don't know what that is or what that means, but there's our acetone concoction coming out. I say that's below the pistons. I wonder if that's like a blower pressure or something, because that's on, I have no idea, but it's peeing. So maybe that's a good sign. Maybe we're getting some of that past the rings or just over top one of the pistons, but hopefully it's doing its job. It's been a few hours, we've had it soaking. If it does free up quickly, I don't think we're super stuck, and I don't think we have anything to worry about. Oh, I think that is it. Beautiful. Thank goodness. High five, y'all. It spins over, not freely yet. There's a lot going on this motor though. But it does move, and that is very good. I'm just gonna spin it over until we get a good couple revolutions. We did already open some valves up. I'm just gonna keep soaking stuff in there just to make sure, because this is a two-stroke. You have the opportunity for rings to stick, you know, in your openings, in your ports, and we definitely do not want that. Oh, yes. I got to give it to everyone that has been telling me for a while now with our stuck engines to use that acetone ATF treatment there, because that did the trick. I just want to verify the valves on our front cylinder open up, because they have not yet. And then we'll slide that starter back in there, see if we can get it turning over. I think it's time we put that starter back on there. Yep, beautiful. Rear valves have opened up, sucked everything down, and so have the fronts. So everything's functioning there, everything. Our rotating assembly seems to be, seems to be working. So I think we're okay to go. Let's jump out this starter real quick with it just hanging out here, verify it works before even, ooh, that's okay. That can be like that. Beautiful. All right, bump over. Woohoo! Gasket here is in pretty good shape still, so for the time being. Let's soak it down with some gasket maker. Okay, so considering this fuel filter, as bad as it is, and its cartridge, they're hard to find. The base itself is pretty crusty. Now the nice thing is, they're a little harder to find on like the 353s from what I've seen. On the 253, this is just a water separator. So all we need to do is probably get a marine style or like a different cat diesel style water separator filter with just the 2 bolts. Should be pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I'm gonna run around to our local hardware stores and see what we can find. Before we get our new fuel filter mounted up, let's go ahead and check and see what kind of fuel we have in this thing. That is that's water.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's good.
I don't even know what that is. That's honey. The heck? Smells like paint thinner. Are you supposed to run paint thinner on a 2-stroke diesel? What does it smell like to y'all? I mean, off-road diesel's red. Maybe it's a mixture of rusty, watery. Definitely got water. You can see the separation. Let's just drain that whole tank. So another thing that I was thinking about with diesel is with a 2-stroke, even though it is a 2-stroke, it's just how it runs. I'm pretty sure you just run normal diesel in this. The thing is with older diesel, you know, if this diesel's 20 years old or better, the older diesel gets the higher flash point it has and the less lubricity it has. And we definitely want as much as we can, especially with the 2-stroke. So I think it's probably going to be best to pump that tank out and go ahead and get some fresh in it. You're probably wondering why we're doing all this extra stuff just to get this thing running. Obviously we bought this tractor to use, and we want to go ahead and get everything as dialed in as we possibly can while we're getting it fired off, so we know everything's good to go so we can start using the thing. I think Dad's right. He said this is probably just heating oil. Maybe some left over from changing out the heat in his house. I know we've ended up with a bunch of extra heating oil in the past. So that's probably what this is some old heating oil that he had laying around that he was able to use in the tractor here. While we're waiting on everything here to drain, one thing that I know we're probably gonna have to address with this is when I pulled this line, water did come out of it, and that is probably why this thing was stuck the way it was water that was actually in the fuel system, and that is why he had that filter off. But with that being said, I imagine the whole fuel rail and the injectors are full of water, and those injectors are super common to stick, especially with water in them. So let's go ahead and figure out getting this steering rod, which is just a little boogered up on there. This is a big old tractor, and you can tell it's been really worked over its life. But you can tell that's broke a few times. We need to get it removed. Let's pop that valve cover off, and let's go ahead and take a look at our fuel rail, our fuel lines, get everything blown out, and make sure our injectors are free.
Oh man, so stinky.
I can put a little I don't know how it's going to go back in there.
Nope, me neither.
We'll figure that out afterwards.
There it is.
I don't know who put this exhaust back on in the way.
Nice.
Let me just get all the crud down in that motor. Oh, there goes the bolt. That thing has never had an oil change.
That looks good. That looks better than a Comet.
That's the dirtiest diesel I have ever seen, though. You gotta remember, this is a diesel. It's all good. It's supposed to look like that.
Yeah. Diesels can't always be clean on the inside. They don't always go on the outside.
As you can see, little on the grody side, but Both injectors are functioning, so that is good. So what I've got pulled off here is our return line, and we're gonna turn this thing over until we get all the water through and start seeing some of that clean ATF come through. You can see what we've gone ahead and gone with is a marine style, basically not even necessarily marine style, just a fuel water separator here to go in place. You know, these filters you can pick up for $10 absolutely anywhere, super easy compared to trying to find the entire setup that was on this. So what I've got here is this filter slam full of ATF. Let's see if we can turn it over and get some bleeding going on. Is it coming through?
Not yet.
Okay. Turn it over really good.
Yeah? Oh, wait.
What you see?
What we got going on here?
Power steering fluid leaking.
Oh, because we separated it, maybe?
I wouldn't think so, but we know our power steering's gonna try to work at least. Something I just noticed while we were turning it over, watch our oil pressure gauge. Isn't this pretty fancy? Our oil pressure gauge right here on the side. Nice. I hate to do it, but it is a diesel, and I don't want to burn our starter up. Okay, so here's this. And while I'm turning it over, just spritz. And if it runs away or takes off, there's that towel over there, shove it down in that intake. You ready? I guess this is kind of a first run. That's a big heavy starter. It's quite a bit of motor it's turning over. And if we can give it a couple sniffles to try to get this fuel pump working before we completely burn our battery up and burn our starter up, we're gonna try to do that. Got that one bad spot where he tried cranking it over with it stuck. That's it, trying to crank, I think. Go ahead. Come on, baby. Oh, there it comes. Oh, there's our fuel. Okay, well, let's do that and see what comes through.
What's that?
I don't know. You see any leaks or anything anywhere?
It's probably leaking everywhere.
Sounds like a diesel.
Yeah.
Let's get her going. This baby's gonna run. That wasn't running away. That just scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
That was it breathing in all that crap that was down in the supercharger.
All right.
Okay, let's
hey,
get this.
pump's working.
Yep.
Still transmission fluid, dumping.
Good.
Scared the dicky out of me.
Yeah. You got to remember it's a two-stroke too. This thing's gonna go wah.
Oh yeah.
Well, we don't want it to go that wah, but some wah, right?
Got that, yeah.
We got to figure that out.
What you got? Oh, that's it.
This thing sounds awesome. You hear the supercharger? This thing's flipping cool. I'm excited to run this machine. What was that, 50, almost 60 PSI oil pressure? It sounds good. I didn't see any oil up top yet, but I guess it is. All that wasn't up here, was it?
I don't know.
I don't know what this thing's supposed to do.
Yeah, I haven't.
It sounds pretty good. We definitely need to get at least some water in there because there is nothing.
Okay.
It's a runner though. From being stuck, you can tell it burnt a bad spot when I assume at some point in time when he's trying to crank this thing, or somebody was with the motor locked down, it burnt a pretty good spot into that flywheel, but we might have to rock it around every now and then. It's a runner though, and it sounds good. What a cool sounding motor. Real high pitched, 2-stroke, supercharged. Let's get some water in this thing and let's run it a little bit more.
Spider.
Where's the spider at?
Down in there.
Oh, sorry, spider. He's going.
Oh, it's got water in it.
Does it?
Yeah, it's up to here.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's just the tank.
No, it's not.
Oh, it did? No, that is. That's just the tank.
Or is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just rust.
Cool.
It's supposed to have rust. That's good for it.
Well, I told you it had some antifreeze in it because it actually leaked out. It was leaking out there, you know.
Yeah, it had some antifreeze, so that's good. I don't think we have a cracked block or anything. It is a runner. It sounds awesome. We've got good oil pressure. It's pumping through here. We have tornado warnings right now. We probably shouldn't be out here working, but where did everything literally, I mean, the oil, everything was like literally falling apart. This thing is shaking so much. This is cool. I'm glad it's, the gas version of these are cool. There's just something about that Detroit diesel that is awesome. I really, I think that's probably gonna wrap it up for this episode. We're gonna go through, degrease everything. I've got to rewire this tractor. We're going to service it completely. I've got to get a valve cover gasket. We're gonna change the oil, put a new filter in it, and quite a few other little odds and ends to really get this thing dialed in, because we want to use this thing. We got to go through. The reason it did get parked was obviously because it had the hydraulic issues. We have a lot of hoses to replace on this thing, and we're gonna have to go through and do quite a few of those and see if we can get that hydraulic system burped, bled, and working again. And we're gonna put this thing to work. We'll have some fun with it. I really hope you all enjoyed that. Holy cow. I'm gonna show you this. Do you see all this? Look at this. Tornadoes don't come around unless it's raining, right? Uh-oh, I felt a raindrop. The blue sky's coming. It'll be here. But if you all enjoyed that, be sure to hit the subscribe button, notification bell. We love bringing stuff like this back to life, especially when we get to take it out and use it afterwards and put it to work. And if you have already been a part of the channel, we really do appreciate all the love and support so incredibly much. That's gonna wrap it up. Peace out. Catch you all on the flip side.